There are several ways that boards of directors and C-suites can differentiate themselves from the competition when it comes to mergers and acquisitions. Here to discuss this topic is Nichole Jordan from Grant Thornton. All right, thank you so much for joining us today, Nichole.
Pleasure.
So I want to learn, how are CEOs and boards getting ahead of their competitors today as it relates to mergers and acquisitions?
Absolutely, Anders, thank you. We see CEOs and boards leveraging intelligent technologies to gain competitive advantage today. So leveraging artificial intelligence and machine learning to scan the horizon across millions of data points that exist for their target companies, monitoring that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to separate the signal from the noise, and to be able to really hone in on those areas that are most impactful to the value and the risk of their acquisition targets.
I'm hoping you can elaborate a little bit more on how boards and CEOs are using technology to help identify deals as well as potential risks and opportunities.
Absolutely. So we see the use of intelligent technologies really working in three phases. One is to align to the strategy, basically set up the technology system to fill the strategic execution gaps. What are the gaps in the strategy? Use the technology to scan the horizon for all of the potential opportunities to fill those gaps. Then the second phase is analyze. So analyzing the horizon level of all of the millions of data points, being able to prioritize those opportunities that will create the greatest value towards their strategy and towards their mission. And then the third phase is really around monitoring and predicting value and risk, behaviors and outcomes that can impact value and risk. So it is monitoring those target companies that have been digitally screened as most relevant to a company's strategy, monitoring those day in and day out, and serving up that information to CEOs, to the management teams, to the boards, so that they can identify the information more quickly. It's all about speed and accuracy, separating the signal from the noise, to be able to act quickly towards what would be most valuable and mitigate risk for a company.
Mm-hmm. And now, environmental, social, and governance have become three factors that investors consider with regards to a firm's sustainable and ethical practices. What should management teams and boards do to ensure that there is strong oversight in these areas?
Absolutely. So with ESG, it's a critical factor today for a company to monitor. And what we see, some of the leading practices in the ESG space are to, again, combine the power of human intelligence and all that you're doing to monitor ESG with technology. And the intelligent technologies will scan for the parameters associated with the risks of ESG. And for those areas that are most valuable to a company, ESG can be set up as a standard across many companies, across an industry, but it can also be customized to what is most important to the acquirer. And as that is defined in the technologies, it will scan for you, again, 24/7, and be able to serve up new information and high outliers, low outliers as it relates to the ESG rules and protocols you've put in place. So it's all about getting accurate information more quickly so that you can act on it and engage in the deals.
Great. Well, thank you so much for sharing your insight today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Anders.